Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, I found this a little interesting when we went to the well for taxes where we went, because a few years ago I got to be involved in a rather deep discussion of tax structure in the state of Washington, and we found some very interesting things in that process. One is that the B&O tax was the first thing that needed to go because it's very unfair and it's not productive for business. It's very productive for the state of Washington. I'll tell you why. The first thing we discussed is, well, why don't we just convert it to a corporate income tax? The B&O tax is a problem, so let's just convert it. Well, to do that and become tax revenue neutral, to make it revenue neutral, it would have to be a corporate income tax between 15 and 16%. The national average is 7.5%, with our local folks in Idaho at 7.6, Idaho at 7.1, and California way up at 8.8. So we'd have to almost double their business taxes to become revenue neutral. That just tells you how much this tax weighs on people. It also creates amazing numbers when you look at high volume, low margin businesses. We've got automobile dealers that in effect are paying 50% plus corporate income tax. And you wonder why the largest car dealer in the world is across the border. So it also led to the next question is, how much does business pay as a portion of the overall taxes in the state of Washington? And we found out that was somewhere between 51 and 53%. We thought, well, that seemed a little high, so we compared it to all the states west of the Mississippi. And we found out that the average was about 33%. All kinds of various tax structures, but the average was 33%. So I guess when I hear the gentleman from District 45 say that business doesn't mind paying their share, we hear that word a lot, and they don't mind having the infrastructure and everything, but how much is fair? I mean, I think that business pays a substantial premium right now over most other states. And so when we go to the well for more taxes, we go to the B&O tax, which arguably is the most heinous tax we've got, the least productive for jobs and for business. That's a problem. And so now we have this bit of a conundrum because we came in here with a promise from our new leader, the governor, of no new taxes and jobs. This bill goes absolutely the opposite direction. It increases taxes in the very manner that will reduce the number of jobs because it pushes the tax burden even further in a state that has one of the highest business tax burdens. Now, that didn't come from some think tank. Those numbers came from our own staff. We did that research right here. So we can go on and talk about the tax structure, and I think it's a discussion worth having, but right now, what we're going to do is put even more burden on the very people that are struggling to make ends meet. Now, last comment. Not only do we pay that level of taxes, but add high payroll taxes, highest minimum wage, and all the rest, and you've got a lethal cocktail for small business in Washington, and they are suffering. This is not the well to go to. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.